This is an
orc
attack. This is an
orc
attack. This is
orc
attack.
Of all of these simple games I routinely return to on the Spectrum, Orc Attack was most definitely up there in the top 5. Released in 1984, this original arcade action title would go on to become a pretty popular game. Originally released at a price point of £6.95, which a bit pricey, and later released at a budget price of £1.99, the perfect price, with new artwork for the cover. The artwork change is fine, but I think the original release looked a lot fancier. It was so fancy, in fact, that there was an offer for a free poster of that very same artwork. That's sure to impress anyone who mistakenly walks into your bedroom. The game was originally released by Creative Sparks and was developed by Phil Snell and Dean Locke. This is a picture of Torval and Dean. I honestly don't know why I keep trying to find pictures of these people. It's bloody impossible. Anyway, on release, the game was well received, scoring a 91% in Crash Magazine, who praised the animation, the use of colour, and the addictive gameplay. Let's just analyse that use of colour first of all, shall we? Here is our hero, stood atop his beautiful, big, magenta castle. I love it. The sky is a crisp blue, the castle walls shimmer with their resplendent, not quite pink, not quite purple hue, and honestly, I am already prepared to guard this castle with my own life. I won't let any orc take this magnificent homestead away from me. I do have one question though. Why is this guy defending an entire castle on his own? Did everyone else sleep in? This poor bugger has the unenviable job of stopping an entire orc army from invading his majestic abode. And to make things even worse, they haven't even set up the cannons. The guy has to literally just throw cannonballs off the wall in the hopes that he hits something. Poor Derek. That's probably his name. What's the aim to all of this then? Well, in questioning the situation, I've pretty much given the game away. Your job is to fight back waves of orcs using a mixture of cannonballs. It says they're rocks in the manual. This is rubbish. They're cannonballs. Swords and burning hot oil which spews forth flames and all orc armies forever. Or at least until the next level. Another question though. Are these guys orcs? They don't look much like orcs, they just look like blonde-haired men. They're wearing t-shirts with the letter O printed on the back though, so that's probably a good indication that they're definitely orcs. They just don't really look like orcs. They certainly don't look like the orcs from the front cover. Regardless, there's a lot of life in these little identikit fellas, whether they're running around firing arrows at you, propping up ladders to try and get a closer look at your wonderful castle, or simply exploding because you threw something at their head. You'll grow to love to hate these angry little guys, especially because controlling your own angry little guy takes a little while to get used to. There's a lot of acceleration involved in Orc Attack. You don't maintain a constant pace when moving from left to right, you slowly ramp up to top speed. And trying to turn around works in reverse. This can make stopping where you need to extremely difficult, until you realise that you can press and hold fire to stop dead in your tracks. While holding fire, you can then shift yourself into position before dropping your payload. It's weird, is this? Your hero is basically a car that relies on the emergency brake in order to turn a corner, but I promise you, as wacky as it sounds, it really works in favour of the game. There's nuance and timing involved in getting little Derek into the right position at the right time. And if they'd have gone with a standard, say, Space Invaders control of simply moving left and right and shooting, the game would likely come across as overly simplistic and most likely a bit too easy. With the controls working as they do, there's a consistent level of panic and panicking and oh god, why? Why did I stop over the Ruddy Merlin instead of the Krenel? I'm a friggin' moron. Also, castle facts. This is a Merlon, and this is a Krenel. Castle facts. This is one thing that can be a little annoying though. Derek can't drop cannonballs when he's in front of a Merlon. He just bounces it off the thing like he has no depth perception whatsoever. This is a problem, as those bloody orcs will typically aim for a Merlon when they're propping up their ladders. If you can take an orc out while he's setting up a ladder, you'll take them out, and the stupid little climbing device will go down with them. But when they do this on a Merlon, it initially seems that you can't really do much about it. You can, though. You just have to get Derek in exactly the right position, which is just sort of slightly to the side of the thing. It can be tough to line up initially, but once you get the hang of controlling him, it once again adds to that panic of trying to stop everything from happening all at once. All the things are happening, and you need to stop them quick. It's a thrill, it really is. Also, I don't think I've ever said Merlon this many times in my life. Regardless, as thrilling as all that may be, it would be pretty boring if you just had to fight orcs all day long. So, thankfully, there's usually a change between each level. It could be more orcs, that's a given, but it could be this evil wizard who casts evil skull spells that, I'm going to be honest with you, don't look half as terrifying as a full army of orcs. They are small targets though, so make sure your aim's good. Outside of the wizard, there's this massive guy who just comes and points at you, which is very, very rude. Make sure you throw a cannonball at him. There are other bits and pieces here and there. Sometimes there's big ruddy spiders running across your wall, but the true stars of the show here are the orc battles. Trying to stop them from propping up ladders and ascending the walls, hiding behind Merlons to avoid damage, taking to your sword when orcs are too close to you and swinging away at their dumb faces. And ultimately, at the end of each level, throwing a big vat of boiling oil at them to set them all on fire. Orcs and ladders melting everywhere. It's great. In amongst all of this happening, when arrows are raining down on you from every angle and Derek takes a shot to the face, he does this little animation thing where he's like, "Oh, ah, my eye, oh, ow, ow," and he drops his cannonball. It's stupid and adorable, and it's a 10 out of 10 from me. Great game. In all seriousness, Orc Attack is just one of those games that is so perfectly pitched. It doesn't really go out of date. If you don't like Orc Attack, chances are that you simply don't like this type of game, and if you liked Orc Attack in the 80s, you'll still like Orc Attack now. It is essentially a perfect piece of entertainment. It doesn't overstay its welcome, it doesn't try to heap unnecessary mechanics onto a simple idea, it has a well-pitched difficulty curve. It's a product that takes the arcade score attack sensibilities of the time, builds an original game around it, and does it with practically no faults whatsoever. Highly recommended.